And I think this game reached its apex of the Purdy MVP discourse.
He shouldn't be MVP. It should be
I was
Christian McCaffrey from this team.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I don't think he's gonna win the award because I find it hard to believe that at the end of the year we're gonna see Brock Purdy holding that trophy up. I just don't see it.
It should be Christian McCaffrey at MVP, Tyreek Hill as Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Done.
Well, I think if the Bills run the table and they get to and they win the division, I think it should be Josh Allen. But
MVP?
Yes, if the Bills run the table, because I think mainly because I understand the Christian McCaffrey. They don't give the award to the running backs. So,
But
it's
dumb.
Well, I agree, but I have like 100 years of evidence.
Yeah, I know. But so somebody prompted this the other day. How would you feel if they had like, you know how in baseball they have like a Cy Young award where it's like just the best pitcher and then they have MVP is separate? How would you feel if they had like a quarterback Cy Young award and then MVP was a separate award?
That'd be fine.
I just think the NFL's problem is since it's so positional, to say who the most valuable player on any given team, I think J.J. Watt talked about this before. Of course it's going to be the quarterback on any given team because like Patrick Mahomes then should be the MVP every single year because I promise you the Chiefs wouldn't be in the playoffs this year without Patrick Mahomes. Replace him with like almost any other guy.
But then
and I think
look at teams let's look in the past when you have like an Aaron Donald who's putting up 20 and a half sacks as a defensive tackle or like a J.J. Watt who's scoring on offense and defense and like stuff like that. Like those players should be winning MVP.
I guess the question is though, if you're saying like most valuable player, like you're irreplaceable to your football team. So let's say you take an average quarterback, so Baker Mayfield, and put them on the Chiefs, versus you take, I don't know who's a good average running back in the league, Miles Sanders. Put Miles Sanders
he's on the offensive line. No, he's fine.
Okay.
Put Miles Sanders on the 49ers. Who's worse off, the Chiefs or the 49ers? I would say the Chiefs.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's not because I think MVP should only be won by quarterbacks. That's just because I think it's so hard to when you have a quarterback has to give the ball to other players, and I think that just naturally makes them the MVP of the league. I don't think it's fair. I think they should probably just do straight across positional awards. Like you are the best lineman in football. You are the best. Like you are the best tight end in football. You are the best running back and wide receiver and so forth.
That's a fair take. If they literally just went by position group and just named each of like the best like at like their position respectively that year. Yeah, because you're right. Because it's hard to just like it's hard to quantify like the most valuable player when you could argue somebody like Trent Williams could be the MVP because he's the best left tackle, and like Brock Purdy would damn near be nothing if he was constantly getting hammered.
I mean,
and
in baseball they have the all the Silver Slugger awards, the Cy Young. It's all positional.
And I think they don't need to be like who's the best left tackle, left guard, because you start to get into all pro teams.
Just
but
who's
I think
the best lineman,
yeah, like just trying to divvy up the groups a little bit more so there's more fair. Because again, it's really hard to say that if, and in my world, Bills run the table, they win in the division, then I think it's really hard to say that somebody like Josh Allen, like what other person could you put in Josh Allen's position who would have overcome this? Like maybe Patrick Mahomes, that's about it. And I think you could, but the same thing would feel with the 49ers. The reason I wouldn't give Purdy the MVP is I 100% think that if Baker Mayfield was the quarterback for the 49ers, they would be in the exact same position. I don't think almost anything would have changed. Maybe I'd give them one more loss, so they'd be 10-4. I think Purdy is a little bit better than Mayfield, but like I think to be a very similar team with a very average quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's why I just don't think I would see him holding the MVP trophy. But the odds makers sure seem to think it, and Dak Prescott did himself no favors this past week.
I still think it should go to McCaffrey. I want to see a running back win it.
I think if there's a year you say we're breaking the trend, it's this year. because
like no quarterbacks are really pulling ahead as like, oh, these are like the best players in the league. Because it's like, Dak had like some like bad weeks, whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, maybe he's going to be leading the MVP race. And then he just has a terrible week. And it's like, oh, well, who's been the most consistent throughout the year? It's been McCaffrey.
Well, the option is, I guess, for quarterbacks is Lamar. But has anyone felt like Lamar's been overwhelmingly good this year? And like, no.
Like he's won plenty of games, but it's like his stats are fine. Like they're not great. And like it's more of like he wins with that team. Like he's a great quarterback for that team, but I don't know if he's as outstanding as like his previous MVP where he was like far and away the best player in the league, like hands down. Versus now it's kind of just like, yeah, he's a great quarterback, but he's not like as it doesn't feel like he's as spectacular as it used to be, but he's also a lot more consistent and just like reliable, I feel like.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So I would not like to see Purdy hold the trophy at the end of the year. I just don't. It's no shade to Purdy. I just think when you look at that team, also everyone's like, the Niners have a perfect record when both Trent Williams and Debo play, and I'm like, but an MVP should overcome that. Like, Patrick Mahomes' receivers are actively working against him.
Yeah, literally.
Like, so I think the Purdy thing should just. I get it though. I get why the league thinks he'll win why odds makers think he'll win it because it's what the award has turned into.
And the issue is that there's going to be the narrative of like, oh, well, he was Mr. Irrelevant and now he's MVP. It's like, damn it, that'll be good for the league. They want him to win it.
Yeah, Brock Purdy is right now the overall favorite at minus 200 odds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, minus 200 is like over.
Seems he's plus 2,000.
Dak is plus 750 to plus 900 across sportsbooks. Josh Allen is now third in MVP. Lamar's 2. Hurts dropped all the way to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Well, yeah, Hurts is actively hurting his team. So,
yeah.